The things I will be sharing in this video will undoubtedly say a lot about my own character flaws, but if this helps even one person overcome their inner demons, then it will have been more than worth it. When it comes to people who rage at video games, especially Splatoon 2, I have been one of the worst offenders. It was so bad that playing the game became synonymous with rage, and it was starting to get in the way of my relationships. If I wanted to be able to quit raging and enjoy Splatoon 2 like other people, I had to find a solution that really worked, and not just some wishful thinking or cliche advice. From what I could tell, I was just an unpleasant and angry person. Well, I'm here to say that if this describes how you feel, that there is a good reason that you do what you do. In this video, I will talk about what's really going on here and share some simple exercises which have greatly helped me overcome my own personal challenges. Our goal, what really matters. My goal in this video is to help you maximize your enjoyment of the game and minimize your frustration. When you tilt, it prevents you from enjoying the game and will disturb others and make them not want to be around you, and you don't want that. Plus, it makes you terrible at the game while you're tilted. I'm not interested in any religious or official system of morality.
If it says so, then it is so. If it is so, well, so it is.
Nope, I'm making this practical and to the point, just like my weapon tutorials. Remember, your goal is not to win more. Your goal is to actually enjoy the time that you spend playing the game. There's no point whatsoever in winning more if you're just going to be miserable about it. Finally, I want to note that you can't make any real changes during your normal gameplay. You have to prepare yourself in advance and have good habits already in place in order to make meaningful progress. Purely trying not to get upset won't work. It's like this scope. Whatever you fixate on fills the scope, and your mood is derived from that zoomed-in reality. If you've developed a forced habit of scoping into each thing that frustrates you, then your mood will automatically follow suit before you're even aware of what happened. You have to overcome this habit outside the game, much like the way you practice one skill at a time in the training area before bringing your skills together in a real match. What is anger? When you think of anger, you almost certainly picture something threatening and disturbing. Perhaps you can't see any possible way that anger could be a good thing. If so, you likely have been burned by someone else's anger and promised yourself that you would never become like that. To many people, anger is just another kind of evil and nothing more. In truth, though, anger is not only bad. It is not only blind rage and hostility towards other people. This is what anger looks like when it gets out of control. Anger is like fire, highly dangerous, but also essential to life. Think of how hot and massive and dangerous the sun is. It's so bright that you can't even look at it directly. At the same time, though, the sun is the source of energy for all life on Earth. Its terrifyingly awesome power is in perfect balance with nature. Your body also has a steady source of fiery energy, which, yes, can get out of control. This inner fire powers and protects you. It is only in dire situations that your flame gets overheated. This can be because of something that just happened now, or because of emotions which you are suppressing and denying. Either way, a fiery explosion is coming. Two very different types of anger. The way to tell whether you have good or bad anger is whether you are able to switch it on and off without getting stuck in a freeze, flee, fight mindset. Bad anger doesn't mix with other emotions because it is a mere last resort weapon of self-defense. It reduces your experience of the world to a desperate struggle for survival. When you're trapped in this primitive state of consciousness, everything seems black and white, victim or oppressor, good or evil, with nothing in between. Good anger is blended with all kinds of wonderful feelings. It's social, and it comes and goes quickly and in moderation. It often takes the form of excitement and ambition. A tempered temper allows you to say no when you need to, and to push away all distractions so that you can concentrate on one thing. It's that drive that gets you up and going in the morning, and the motivation to get things done. Breathing is the regulator. Being able to maintain a sense of safety is crucial to regulating your anger. After all, if everything's fine, you won't feel the need to lash out, and you'll only turn up the heat for fun and not survival. The easiest and most powerful way to regulate your ever-fluctuating sense of security is by proper breathing. It's unbelievable how often we fail to breathe properly, even though we humans are more than capable of taking voluntary control over our respiratory system. The next time you feel tired, sluggish, or panicked, check your breathing. You'll find that your breaths have become shallow and weak. Perhaps it feels like you're protecting yourself, but poor breathing just makes you tired, stressed, and demotivated, and it clouds your thinking. It makes a huge difference when you begin to breathe deeply again. That said, it's quite likely that you won't even be aware of the fact that your breathing has gone shallow, and so it would be wise to practice in advance. If you're anything like me, shallow breathing is your norm, and so is feeling like garbage. It's time to change that. The Wim Hof Breathing Exercise. Your body is capable of doing and feeling so much more than you think. The Wim Hof Breathing Exercise certainly was a testament to this fact when I first tried it. The technique involves steady, deep breaths at what feels like a dangerously fast rate. During the process, you will feel sensations which will likely be quite alarming to you, but that's because you're not used to feeling them. The Wim Hof breathing exercise will increase your awareness, help you stabilize your emotions, and subdue your fears. This will make it easier for you to stop fighting against your own feelings, and therefore help you to avoid becoming possessed by anger and aggression. The Wim Hof breathing exercise will also give you a better sense of how deeply you can actually breathe, which will make identifying and correcting shallow breathing that much easier. Practice makes perfect. I've put a link to a beginner's breathing guide in the description. Music and dance. One thing that won't help you keep your cool is thinking. You need a way to avoid further engaging your neocortex, which is where the thinking and language occur, and get grooving with your limbic brain. To explain the limbic brain, I'll use a near quote from What Everybody is Saying by Joe Navarro. The limbic part of the brain is where the action is, because it reacts to the world around us reflexively and instantaneously in real time and without thought. For that reason, it gives off a true response to information coming in from the environment. Because it is uniquely responsible for our survival, the limbic brain does not take breaks. It is always on. The limbic brain is also our emotional center. It is from there that signals go out to various other parts of the brain, which in turn orchestrate our behavior as they relate to our emotions and survival. When you're all scoped into what gives you grief, attempting to use thinking to fix things is like closing your eyes to try to distract yourself from where you are, which obviously does nothing to change your situation. What you really want is a way to zoom back out so that you can better see where you are and regain the ability to choose where you fix your attention and therefore where you take action. A great way to achieve this is through dancing to music. When dancing to one of your favorite tunes, you get the benefits of physical exertion and of the notes and rhythms of the music. Yes, I know this sounds stupid, but it really does make a difference. The more you enjoy the song and really move your body to become one with the groove, the more you will get out of the music. That feeling of becoming one with the song means that you are successfully bypassing your thinking brain and synchronizing your emotional brain with those sick beats. You can always just play the songs on the Squid Beats 2 jukebox in the game if you somehow have no other music to play. Nurture gratitude, not resentment. You no doubt think or talk to yourself about how upset certain things make you feel. Just like with watering a plant, that which you pay verbal attention to will grow. And yes, that means by complaining, you are growing the upset and ungrateful parts of yourself. The solution is simple. Instead of holding on to and chattering to yourself about the memory of your worst moments, dismiss them as small and simple lessons and spend your time and energy verbally reliving your moments of happiness. Although it doesn't feel like doing this will work, it will. Imagine how a villain holds on to a grudge and lets it fester and transform them into the monstrosity they become. Do that, but with the moments you're glad about, and you will benefit from an equally powerful but opposite transformation. don't define yourself by mishaps and regrets. Instead, hold on to the satisfying moments and let them begin to shape you instead. Admittedly, this is something you have to practice, but the good news is that you don't have to feel any different than you do now to get started. All that matters is that you do the simple and modest deed of switching from verbal discouragement to verbal encouragement. Over time, it will become a habit, and then your personality. Now, what I just described in the last 3 paragraphs, which you can't actually see because you're listening to me talk and not reading the paragraph, was gratitude or thankfulness. To give a shorter definition, gratitude is choosing to remember and think about the things that you are genuinely glad about in your life. That's it. It's not a matter of thinking or feeling what you're supposed to, or anything complicated. It's simply the fact that you chose to think about the good instead of the bad, and in doing so, you made those things grow to be a bigger part of who you are. Stay in the present. Remember the villain's grudge analogy I used? Well, it's a classic example of someone being stuck in the past. If left unchecked, your resentment for what you wish hadn't happened will pull you out of your present moment and leave you psychologically incapacitated. This can happen with attachments to things too. The resentment and attachment essentially are just 2 opposite sides of the same coin. A basic example of this counterproductive attachment and resentment is refusing to accept defeat. You'll be way better off if you accept that what happened is okay, and then focus on what you're going to do from where you are now. Don't expect to start doing this automatically just because you heard me recommend it. You will need to train yourself like you will with any other skill or habit that you want to develop. Take care of yourself. This may sound obvious, but I know for a fact that we tend to let essential self-care slide when we don't feel great. First of all, make sure you're not neglecting to eat, drink, sleep, bathe, and groom yourself. If you can check those daily boxes, then consider getting outside and exercising. A short walk or bike ride in the sun will enrich your mood and energy level more than you think. Another huge make or break for your emotional stability is how well you're getting along with the people you live with. You don't need to have perfect family peace. Simply taking steps towards improving your relationships with those you see every day will highly impact your normal level of happiness and well-being. When you're playing the game, make sure you're comfortable how you're seated, and if you can, have good posture. In short, take good care of yourself. You're worth it. Cold showers. Most of you will probably not be into this one, but I'm including it because it's worked wonders for me. Taking a cold shower is a great way to get out of your own head and into your body. I recommend starting with a 10-second shower and then gradually increasing the time each day until you reach 3 minutes. The only thing you need to do while in the shower is allow yourself to feel the cold water all over your body and know that you're okay. The calmer you can be, the better. When you first start, you will likely be quite startled and begin heaving air involuntarily. Something you can do to buffer yourself against this is to inhale fully before stepping into the cold water. Finally, keep in mind that the more you hesitate and anticipate what you're about to do, the scarier it will seem, and the harder it will be to bring yourself to actually do it. For this reason, I highly recommend preparing everything well in advance, and then treating it like a race when it's time to actually take the shower. Once you're in, keep your breathing deep and steady. Don't even worry about spraying your face or head, and don't use the cold water to wash yourself. Reward yourself with a nice hot, normal shower right afterwards. Conclusion. I'm going to say this one more time. You probably feel like nothing will work. But if you want results, then just do it. Take action, and I promise you will see improvements. I hope that if you needed help, you actually do some or all of the things that I recommended in this video, because in truth, they're not just game tips, they're real steps that you can take towards improving your life. Thank you for watching. You guys have been amazing, and I love making these videos. Your feedback means a lot. Expect more videos coming soon, and until next time, keep being awesome.